Alrighty, so this is my review for Maintenance Required. What I would say about this movie is, did I like it? Yes, I did. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm kind of biased. You know why? Because if you hear my voice, I'm a little under the weather. Yesterday, I was so under the weather, I couldn't even eat anything. So I made some soup and my head was pounding. And I was like, oh, I need to turn off everything. I just needed no voices, whatever. I made some soup. And then I was like, I just want to feel comfortable. I want to feel comfy. And then I had my Maintenance Required in my list on Amazon Prime. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember I was thinking about watching this. Here's the thing. Rom-coms, that's what they're for. They're for comfort. I really understand that now. Because I literally was feeling so... My head still hurts a little bit right now. But I could talk way more than I did. I felt like I was going to throw up. I was eating soup. And the romantic comedy was soothing. That's what it is. That's what the movies are for. Romantic comedies are more soothing. They're chill. And what I'm going to say about this is, it wasn't just a romantic comedy. It was more like drama, romantic comedy as well. And I really did enjoy it. And here's the thing. I didn't think I was. You know why? Because I read the bio. I read the synopsis. And then I stopped reading it. You know what the synopsis said? The first thing it said, a girl who runs a mechanic shop with her friends, is falling in love or whatever. Basically something like that. But when I read that, I said, here's the question. I said in my mind, do I want to see girls run a mechanic shop and a romantic comedy? And you want to know the answer to that? Yes, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. And let me just stop. But here's the thing. One, they did it in a cool way. Two, all the girl characters were pretty awesome. They all had charisma. They all had cool personalities. And the question is, you gotta ask yourself, do you think it's interesting watching women work on machines and get greasy? Yes, it's actually interesting. There's a lot of other ways it's interesting too, but the characters are good. But the point I'm saying is, it doesn't hurt that the girls were attractive and they're working on stuff, and it was cool. I think Sydney Sweeney put up some photo or something like that, and people going crazy. I don't know. But the point is, sometimes girls, not sometimes, but I mean, yeah. I don't really know too much about cars, so I can't say anything. But the point I'm trying to make is, sometimes girls know some stuff, and you gotta let them work. And they were working, and they were looking good while doing it, and it worked out for a great story. It wasn't just that; it was a lot of other stuff. But it was better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be I don't know. I didn't think it was interesting, but then it was interesting the way they played it out. They ended up having a nail salon in the front at some point. But look, let me get off of that. The story, drama was good. What I liked about it is the director or the writer, or I should say the director, they know how to make you lean into the story of characters in this film that didn't even need to be this good. And I know because when I was watching it, there's a lot of times where the characters are talking and they pull back almost all the music. You could hear every word the characters are saying to each other. Some films, they put a lot of music in the background and it works. There's music in the background in this film too, but for the most part, there's a lot of conversations, long, 5, 6, 7 minute conversations of dialogue, and the music is almost nowhere to be found. You might hear a little bit of ambience, but no real music. Some films, they keep the music throughout for most of the film. And I think it helped because I was leaning in and I was like, oh wow, I actually feel what she's saying and what he's saying. These two characters, they did have a bit of chemistry, I would say. A bit of chemistry. And what I'll say about the girl, she is in The New Strangers. And I just started watching it this year. I didn't know her until The Strangers. When I watched this, I said, oh, that's her. She's not covered in mud and running around and, running for her life. She's a great actress. And that's what those movies are good because, well, I gotta say everyone's different, but I enjoyed these movies. I enjoyed them more than I thought I would, The Strangers movies. And she is part of it. She's a great actress. She turns it up. She knows how to dial to 11. She knows how to bring it back. She's good. And then, golly, I'm just saying, she was good. She was good in this movie. All the characters were good. I enjoyed watching her work on a car. That's what I say. And like I said, I didn't expect to like it. I was just like, oh, what is this? But she does it, and she knows what she's talking about. They have the script in a way where she when she's talking about cars, she, you know, like I said, I don't know pretty much squat diddly. So when she's talking about, I'm like, okay, I understand certain things, but she, you know, she's killing it, and she's breaking it down, and it makes sense. Her dad was a mechanic, you know. I don't want to spoil too much, but you know, like she owns a shop, it's family business, and I like what they do with the story because the guy and the girl, they're pen pals. They're pen pals, so they don't know each other. They're just talking. They don't know each other's names and nothing. They just talk about cars on a forum, and I like the idea. I know that's been done before, but the point is, I like it. I like how they do it in this movie because they're just talking about cars, and then he ends up. I don't want to spoil it too much. All I'm gonna say is this: they end up seeing each other in real life at some point, but they don't know who each other are, and I like that stuff. I like when it kind of like, you kind of like you waiting for something, and they really play that card for a long time. They do. There's another card that's kind of pulled in because a guy that she likes, he's the owner of the person. He's basically the owner of the establishment across the street. That's like some cool tech place, not tech place. It's cool corporate car place, and they put down the girl's business because it's like, you know, a mom and pop kind of shop of auto, and they're gonna lower the prices, get them out of the neighborhood, and then raise them back up. And he's good. He's an opener. He's a good guy, like, in his job. But the point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of conflict. They know how to put certain conflict in this film to make you kind of want to see if they're actually going to be together. And I like that it's not, even though it's not really romance. It's a romantic comedy, but not really. It's more of a drama with a teeny bit of romance in it because they really pull you. They string you along for a long time. There's elements where they kind of wink at you and say, "Oh, they might do something." They might end up telling each other they like each other. But I like the way this film was written because all the way to the last 30 minutes. I mean, some people might feel like, "Damn, why did they wait that long?" But all the way to almost the last 30 minutes, you really don't get what you think you're gonna get like in the first 30 minutes. Some rom-coms, they start and they're already kissing in like the 31st or 20 minutes, which is cool if it works for the story. For this, it worked for the story. The way they kind of ended up bringing them together at some point because the conflict was real. There was a lot of real conflict, and it was interesting seeing how it either goes together or breaks apart. You know, so that's what I recommend. This guy, I think his name is Jacob Scipio. He's good. He's good. Good. They make a good pairing, and I don't know. He was in Bad Boys, and I remember seeing him in Bad Boys, and I was like, oh, he looks pretty cool. I hope he's in more stuff. And I did enjoy this, and I do like rom-coms. I'm trying to figure out, like, if I had to give this out of 5 stars, I'd give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it, but like I said, I think I'm biased because I was so down in the dumps. Like, I was sick. I'm still a little sick, but I was under the weather. I had a bowl of soup. I wasn't moving. There was no commercials, and I just was eating my soup like this, and I was like, oh, this is nice. So I was really locked in. So I think that made me like the movie a lot more. I wasn't moving, getting my phone. I was just like really locked in. But I think the story was pretty good too. Like, I was not expecting them to go that hard with the story. Like, think about it. They got pen pals. They got him being across the street as a business owner about to take out her shop. Like, that's 2 major plot things that can create some devastation between the people trying to be and have that chemistry and maybe be in a relationship. And there's some other things too, but those are the 2 main things. I think those 2 things really made the story more about her shop and his journey as an entrepreneur, you know? And maybe they come together, you know what I mean? But it was pretty good. I just didn't think, like I said, I didn't think I was gonna be interested in the story when I read the description of the movie about the female mechanics. But gotta say, they did good. They did that storyline justice. All the women were awesome. The 3 friend group and who work in the mechanics, great actresses. You could feel like they're really best friends in real life. And the thing is, if you have good chemistry, it can take a movie a long way. Like, I believe these girls when they were talking. Like, everything they said, I believe that they were really friends. And then also the guy, he has a friend who's pretty cool. But it's just the characters in this. That's the thing. Even if the story isn't that good, if you do have good characters and you ride with those characters, and the film's not that long, your film's good, dude. It's gonna work. So I think that the characters really body it. And the last thing I'll say is there's one line I'm gonna say. I don't remember the exact line, but I remember part of it, which is One of the girls, she thinks that yeah, I don't want to spoil it. No one's really gonna watch this anyways. If you watch this review, you probably seen the movie. I'm not spoiling it, I'm just saying one little line. One of the girls, she hears that a guy ghosted her or something, right? And they think he's so good, they're like, no, he didn't ghost you. He's probably dead. Let me check the morgue. I know that sounds stupid, but it made me laugh. I was like, oh my God. She was like, I'm gonna call the morgue right now. There's no way he ghosted you. He must be dead. And I was just like, it's just funny because sometimes girls really have like, they're really, you call it, they really like have a way of over exaggerating certain things. And it was good. The friend group were good. Romance was there at points, but it was good. It was good. Some of the lines they make Jacob Scipio say, I'm not gonna lie, is very corny. But the cool thing about him is he's smooth. He's such a smooth talker that they could put a crappy line in the film, but when he says it, you're kind of like, all right. You can see why the girls kind of flock a little bit, or kind of respond to him. But it was cool and corny in a good way, and I did enjoy it. I'm glad I watched it. And maintenance required. Check it out if you want on Amazon Prime. And this has been my review. Take care. It's Dejo, know the name. And if you do get sick and you have some soup, this is the movie for you. All right, let's sign off.